Hey, what's up guys? This is Alex Lickletter, one of Non-Stop Tuning's drivers, and today we're going to be showcasing their newest product. This is their chassis mount shifter, their box shifter. Now I have this for a 350Z, so I'm going to be doing an install video today showing you what the product looks like and installing it on the Nissan 350Z. However, they do have it for other chassis too, like 86s, BMWs, Hondas, many other applications, so be sure to check out their website and see if they have one for your car. Without further ado, let's jump in and show you what we're working with here. Alright, so let's go ahead and unbox this and show you what this chassis mount shifter looks like. It's a nice packaging. We do like that. Safety and security for shipping. Looking at the actual shifter here, look at this. This is gorgeous, right? It has the reverse lockout feature, so when you press this, you see that pin down there is going to move, so you can move it around, which is awesome. You have these lockout features. So this car is a 6-speed, but let's just say for the track I'm going to drift. I don't need gears 5 and 6, so I could screw this in farther and delete those gears for the track, so I can only focus on 1st through 4th, and then go back to daily driving by unscrewing this back out and have all my gears. So that is awesome. I'm very excited about this. Here is the base here with the boot. This is actually going to replace the factory one from Nissan, so the factory one will be removed and replaced, and this one will take its place, and all the necessary hardware and screws. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start the install on the car. Alright, so now that we're in the car, we're going to go ahead and remove some of this plastic stuff to get access to the shifter boot and the bolts. This is a drift car, it's cage, you know, it's got an e-brake and stuff, so this is going to be a little bit easier for me to remove some of these panels, but obviously do what you need to do in order to remove the panels yourself. Take this and slide this out the way for now. I'll bring you over here and show you exactly what I'm doing. So you're going to go ahead and remove these 4 10mm bolts here to gain access to. Okay, we'll lift this shifter bracket out the way. And then the boot itself. Now I have a hydraulic e-brake from NST, and I have the mounting bracket for it as well. So this is all gonna just kind of rest here momentarily until I get down deeper into the shifter itself. Lifting up this boot. Gain access to what we're working with here. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and take out these 3 10mm as well. Remove this whole assembly. It's all going to get replaced. Okay. Remove this. And underneath the car will be a bolt that goes through, so I'm gonna go underneath the car and remove that now too. Alright, so now I'm on the ground. We're gonna go underneath this car here, and I'm gonna show you what we're talking about. Ooh. Oh man. Ooh. Should have maybe jacked it up a little bit higher. Alright, so here is that boot I was trying to tell you about that is covering that kingpin bolt that's holding in. So I'm gonna try to get in here and show you what I'm talking about. See that bolt there? I'm going to go through the other side, actually on the driver's side, to get to it.
One eternity later.
Okay, the bolt is now out. I'm gonna go back up to the shifter here. And boom. And look at that, here's the old shifter here. Throw that away. The old spring. Now, this kit's gonna actually replace this casting piece too. So we actually have to get back underneath the car and disassemble this off the car. There are 4 bolts for it. There's gonna be 2 right around here, and then there's gonna be 1 on each side. So let's go down and see these bolts. So this is the area we were working with here. Now I'm gonna move the camera over here and show you that this bracket right here is going to get removed off the car permanently. So there's a bolt here and adjacent on the other side. And then there's also a bolt on the top up here as well. Try to get a better view on the camera. Yeah, so we're going to be removing this bolt here. And then there's also two up top too. It's pretty tight up there. So I've decided what's going to work best is to actually take this transmission cross member and take out these two bolts on either side and put a jack here and slowly let it down, just giving me enough room to be able to extract the bolts off once I'm able to bust them loose. And then I can just simply jack this back up and put the bolts back in, so no fluids will spill out and everything will be just fine. I'm not scared at all. We got this. These bolts are also a 12mm. They're on there pretty tight too. So now it's time for me to come over to the other side here and bust off this other 12mm bolt. Sure is rusty under here. I should be able to get the rest of it with my hand. Go. Okay, now for the two on top. We're gonna go ahead and get a jack and prepare supporting this transmission. Why is everything so green? Okay, now that the transmission is supported safely with a block of wood, we can undo these two bolts and these two bolts. My gun is too weak. I'm gonna have to break it by hand or get a bigger gun. Definitely getting a bigger gun. Oh, yeah, 14. So, aha, big gun. So we're gonna go ahead and lower it now, just so we can get some access to those top bolts. I'd say it's probably good. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, after you got all the bolts out, I did have to use a hammer and a pry bar because there was a dowel. You see how there's a dowel there? I had to get it out of its hole and then kind of beat it out. So now that's all taken out, I'm gonna fish this out through my exhaust system and stuff and get it out of here. Alright, now with this thing out, you just toss that in the trash. Get back down here and secure our transmission. Alright, now it's time to put the bolts back in. I like to anti-seize everything in case I have to drop my transmission in the future. My bolts come out nice and easily and not all rusty. Okay, now with the cross member attached, we can lower the jack. Alright, so now that we got the transmission back in the car, we're going to go ahead and pre-assemble this out of the box and get it ready for the installation. Okay, now I got all the pieces lined up. Let's start assembling this thing. I'm going to start with this here. So you're going to have this Allen that you're going to undo, and this is going to separate like that. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is undo these Allens, and this is where your shifter boot is going to go. It's actually going to go upside down. I know that seems kind of odd, but the shifter is going to sit down in there like this. Now, I'm highly going to recommend blue Loctite for any of these little bolts, just because I don't want to deal with them ever again. Needs a rag. Doesn't have one. Now, I'm not sure why this hole wasn't pre-cut, but that's okay. I'm going to pull it out just a little bit like this. I got a hole puncher. There we go. Perfect. 3mm Allen. Okay, we got our base plate now. Now we're going to insert the shifter down into it and flip it over to do these 4 tapered Allen bolts here. Okay, so after you've installed the shifter boot to your plate, you're going to separate the linkage by undoing this Allen right here and pulling the linkage apart. And then you're going to take the linkage and shove it up in there like this. That way you can insert this fully and tighten up this little Allen that you'll never get access to again. I highly recommend Loctiting this, because you do not want to deal with this later. And you can see that it is seated all the way down in there. Okay, now we can assemble our 4 bolts that are going to go in right through here. 2 bolts that are long and 2 bolts that are short. And because this plate is thick right here, but then recessed in here, the smaller Allens will go right here, and the taller ones will go here, like so. And you would know right away, because if you tried to put a short one in, it's gonna bottom out right away, and you're like, wait a second, I can't even thread this on, something's not right. Now, this shifter is pre-assembled. We have to get out of the car one more time to install this. We'll install the 4 bolts in these corners, and we'll be ready to utilize our new shifter. Man, this thing's so cool. I'm gonna like bang, 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 bang. Awesome. It's always a good idea to get your tools out now. This nut right here is gonna be a 13mm, and this Allen here is a 5mm. So I'm grabbing the tools now, so when I get underneath the car, I don't have to guess. Let's go ahead and put it in the car. Okay, so now it's the last step under the car. We're just gonna put the shifter in here, like so, and get the bolt in it. Alright, now we're in the car. We got the 4 provided Allens. We'll go ahead and put them in and secure the shifter, and this will be it. Sweet. Alright, so this thing's on. First, second, third, fourth. This is sick. And then if I want to do the reverse, just push the button, it moves the rod out the way, and I can go back into reverse. Okay, now it's time to set the lockouts. So you have one on the driver's side and the passenger side here, and the pin goes out and hits this rod, and it prevents it from going left or right. So I'm gonna lock this against that right there, and that should keep the car from going too far right. I don't want to go too far. There's a little 7mm right here. So just drop that out. Third, fourth, fifth. And that way I don't go too far this way. And then I'll do the same for locking out the other gears. Since I am not interested in going past fourth, I'm going to lock this guy in. Right there. So because this is a drift car and I don't drive it on the street, I'm just only interested in using the 4 gears out of the 6 that are provided. So I can put in first, second, shift up to third, and fourth, and you can see that bar is not going to allow me to go into fifth. I can't physically go over because I'm now hitting that bolt. So this is going to allow me to be more accurate because now I have just the 4 gears here, and I don't have to worry about fifth or sixth for drifting. And then if I still want to get into reverse, remember when I hit this button here, this cable is going to actuate this pin and pull it out of the way so I can go fully over to reverse. So I have reverse, first, second, third, fourth, and that's it. I don't have to think about it. If I want to change that for daily driving, I can just undo this 7mm, bring it back a little bit, bring the shaft out a little bit farther, bring the screw out back a little bit farther, and then I'll be able to go farther over for fifth and sixth. Also, just be sure too that all the manufacturer bolts here, everything here, every bolt you see, just make sure that it's all tightened. You know, sometimes these bolts get loose in shipping and whatnot. They're all tested before they go out, but you don't want to have a bad day just because something came loose. So just be sure to go over every single bolt as you finalize the installation. I hope this video is educational. Next thing is to have fun. So let's go drifting. Second to third because it just goes over. The lockout, I locked out fifth and sixth, so I don't even have to worry about it. No miss shifts, shifting forward. That's awesome, man. Can't wait. I can't wait to see how this feels. Woohoo! This thing is awesome.